So I wake up at 1:30 this morning and can't go back to sleep. And throughout the morning, just getting stuff done. Run downstairs to grab some breakfast. I look at the clock and it's 5:45. And my intuition goes off and it says to me, look up 545 angel number. Well, I don't do it. I see that I'm getting the delivery on my Ring camera. The Ring camera has this picture. I'd show you if I wasn't using my phone right now, but it has the picture on the screen of this round circle underneath this gazebo. And it's kind of like this, because this is a round table. And it has a line that has split it completely in half. That is so strange. It looked like the sun was shining through something that had that shape. I never see that in the Ring camera. I've never seen that under that gazebo. Now, I looked at the Ring camera. This is probably 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. Instantly, my intuition took me back to 545. When you think about things multiple times, your intuition is trying to get your attention, number one. When things are strange or just out of place or something you've never seen before or heard before or something that catches your attention that's just out of the blue, another way that the universe is trying to get your attention. So 545 popped back in my head and I went, I'll look it up. Let's back up a little bit. When I woke up this morning, I did do some reads for me and I was like, have I switched timelines? It feels so different this morning. Something's going down. And I didn't really get an answer from the cards. So it was something that maybe I just needed to go through a couple steps to realize, to trust my intuition more. But I felt like maybe I had switched timelines. I am getting to the point of this. But so then I was like, 545. I look it up and it says a cosmic sign that major life changes are on the horizon, but you need a solid foundation to make them last. What caught my attention with that was it talked about transformation. Well, that's switching timelines. I thought, of course, that's a synchronicity, lines up perfectly. But also it said a cosmic sign. I connected that with this weird circle that I saw. So I just Googled circle with a line through it. And it literally said that that is a symbol of a couple things. One is two parts coming into balance, right? But the sign also represented alchemy, which is transforming or transmuting any pain, challenges, lessons into power. I just wanted to give you guys that quick story to show you how you can connect the pieces of synchronicities. Whenever you see numbers or something that's just kind of different, look it up. It might lead you down another path and then another path. All those synchronicities this morning brought confirmation to me that I'm on the right path. I tell you, synchronicity is all around us every day. Everything's connected. If you just stop a little bit and think about things you've seen, not pass by things that are different, it's really going to connect the puzzle together, the data points together for you. So anyways, there was a reason I was supposed to tell you that, but we're going to get into the read. Hey, I'm Jen. Welcome to Lady Tarot 911. And let's get going. I want to give you the energy for today and see what the message is about. Hopefully I can give you guys a love reading or a relationship reading. Love readings can be about loving yourself. Bottom of the deck. Told you, synchronicities, walking the path. Did I not just say I was on the right path? No matter where you are right now, you are exactly where you need to be for the next best thing to happen. All things are connected. This message is behind a mask. So this is a change. Things may be hidden from you. Make sure you double check everything and be careful who you trust at this time. Let's look at what is happening within whatever connection is on your mind. Let me get into the flow here. What message do you have for my viewers? Give me a modified Celtic cross regarding relationships or a love relationship. This could be business partnership, friendship, family ship, situationship, relationship, all the ships. Why would I say that? All the ships. Something coming in, something going out, waiting for your ships to come in maybe. Am I getting that? Yes, I'm getting that correctly. So traveling, shipping off, going on a cruise. Let me lay this down real quick and then I will be able to go through it and give you an idea what's happening for my viewer and the connection that's on their mind. Okay. I talked about self-love. This could be a reading about self-love as well. So if you came here and you were asking about you and kind of what's happening with you, building yourself, building your life, refocusing on you. This is about something forbidden. Give me just a second. So I will explain all these places. Okay. You know what? We're going to do like that. A little easier. And then okay, this could be in regards to some type of commitment or arrangement, some type of contract that was, in the bottom of the deck, alone, that was made. However, somebody feels like they are alone in this connection. This could be a business partnership, more like wedding or relationship. There's some type of relationship that came together and there was communication about what is forbidden. I'm going to actually use the stack. What is this forbidden about? The energy right now is about coming back to self and reevaluating. Now, we talked about this being the time period of the Cancer new moon and going back to the past or going back within, right? Also, Mercury retrograde is still in effect until like July 20th. And retrogrades are about going back, redoing, reevaluating. The re in retrograde, it's going inward versus outward. The love that you do have for yourself or that you should have for yourself. But what is this forbidden? Some type of maybe relationship or a situation where somebody feels like they can't do something. What is this about? There's some type of knowledge. Somebody feels like maybe a book has closed, a chapter has closed, or that there's something that's been shut down. However, you see the eye on this card. Somebody is actually waking up to something that they feel had been forbidden, that they couldn't evaluate, they couldn't see before, but now they're seeing, or they're questioning, why has something been off the table? Why has it been a situation or a person or a path that I haven't been allowed to go down? What are the values or what have I been taught in my life that has caused this to be not accessible for me? Could be why somebody gets married, why somebody made this connection or this contract. The truth is being brought from divine and allowing answers to almost permeate, I'm hearing, in regards to somebody questioning why they are where they're at. So if they've made a contract with somebody, why did they do that? Or if they married somebody, did they do it for the right reasons? It could be codependency or just the safety, feeling like they needed to be attached to something or somebody or a way of life or being seen a certain way. And there's truth that's coming. When I say coming, that's interesting because this is usually my past column, even though this is all happening all at the same time. Time is kind of all over the place. This is usually indicative of my past position, present position, and then moving forward, what potentially will be. Obviously, there's agency that comes into play, but the energy is stating what is available and able to be aligned with moving forward. I said coming, so maybe you or your person are just now reaching past energy. Maybe you're just flowing right through it and you're not quite here yet. It just depends on what timeline you're on. Somebody is waking up to what has been unseen about why they got committed into something. Is it because of a lack of self-love? Because they didn't trust themselves? They didn't trust their intuition? And this is, the block is separation of self, or maybe there was a separation that happened that somebody didn't fully heal from, you or your person, and didn't create the closure that was needed that caused them to maybe bounce from one situation to another. So they either separate from self-love and just throw themselves into another situation, or there has been a way that they've been taught to believe about certain things, old school, traditional, cultural, or religious ways of looking at connections or attachments, marriages, or something that is being reevaluated. Now, again, you could be right about here in this situation. However, with this retrograde and with this Cancer new moon, it's pushing you back this way to evaluate kind of in the past of some type of attachment or promises being made that were broken, truths about being attached to whatever promises were made in the past by somebody that was not followed through on, the change up of that. I also pulled crossroads. I feel like it's supposed to go here. Somebody is wanting to talk with you though, because this is how they're feeling. There is a communication that needs to be had about what somebody's learned in regards to this, or to talk about some type of disconnection that happened. Tell me about this. Okay, they're emphatic about it. This is something that they want to do, or they're going to be doing very quickly. There's going to be communication that happens very rapidly, but emphatically. Maybe it's about feeling like they're alone. I feel like I'm supposed to look under here. Oh, seduced. Maybe they want to tell you about a situation they got talked into or felt pressured to go this direction and commit to something or be involved in something. But tell me about this phone call. Hand of fate, communication is part of your destined path. Oh, look at that, messages, right? You will soon receive good news and duality. I think that there is a communication that potentially is on the way. I'm hearing maybe apology about lack of communication. There's almost, I'm hearing it was a form of control, yet it made somebody feel very alone to remain silent or stagnant. I mean, here's stalemate right here. Yeah, because this is the action portion of the modified Celtic cross. Somebody created a stalemate by a lack of communication, and it's because they fight with themselves. Because if you communicate with somebody, it means that you're wanting to work things out, that you're wanting to have this reciprocal energy, right? Oh, okay, so go back to everything's connected, go back to my story, and the two sides of the circle, right? That's reciprocal. So that has something to play into this read. Reciprocal energy. There has been a holding back of that, and I'm getting because of a need to feel like they're in control of their situation. However, it made them feel very alone, and maybe that's something that they wanted to project onto you so that you felt alone. And I find this interesting, this crossroads, because that's about two ways of going. We're talking about reciprocity too. This is about a relationship with something, either the truth with themselves, with this knowledge, with other people. This duality is about two, about crossroads decisions, trying to figure it out, come up with the right answer, complete in everything that we do, complete rebalancing. I mean, that is what the universe is about, is rebalancing energy, because us as humans F up the energy every second that we breathe, pretty much, when we're not making good decisions or when something goes awry. We mess up the energy, and the universe is just exhausted, but trying to make up for all the human error. Or it's not really error, because they're lessons that we're learning through it and we're growing. It's if we repeat them that it becomes annoying to the universe, because we should be using those lessons to build and ascend and raise the vibration, because that helps rebalance the energy. But this crossroads, trying to figure out which way to go, the right answer, it could be who to go with or which direction is going to be the most advantageous. But you have to look at which direction is going to create growth. And the hardest direction to go is the one that's unknown, always. That is taking a risk and starting something new. We talked about the Cancer new moon, where going back before you can move forward, right? This is an evaluation, or what's happening currently. Potentially you might be in the current energy, but part of the self-love is about being patient enough to go back, reevaluate, figure out, change up, potentially time bend the past, whether it is the let go, and you are totally fine with that. Now, I do want to emphasize that I am also in the same energy, but I release my energy from the reads. The reads are not technically my stories. I guess my point about that is this can hit differently for everybody. And obviously there's so many different stories and situations and places that you're at. Maybe you're beyond that and you have left the past in the past, or there's more to say, allowing for a move forward in a certain direction. I've been sitting here holding this like that as I'm talking with my right hand. I talk with my hands all the time. But this came out, and then that one's sticking out, so I'm going to take that one as well. So, because we're talking about crossroads, so we're going to do two. Now we've done information about messages. Maybe you have received a message. No. Another point about synchronicity. Synchronicity gives you confirmation that you're not crazy. You are not crazy. They are not coincidence. It is universal energy trying to talk to you, to give you guidance, to give you direction. Okay, crossroad. There's been some type of heartbreak, or somebody has broken their own heart in a direction that they went, and there's betrayal that maybe somebody is looking back on, feeling guilty about. Somebody took some action that caused a lot of heartbreak, or there's a decision on going a direction that somebody knows is this popped out, and it's like trying to go reverse, and I don't know why, but we'll get it in just a second. Somebody has a choice to make in a direction, and they know that potentially could cause some heartbreak or create some type of betrayal, or there was a betrayal in the past going a certain direction. But they also know that, oh, maybe with this, they had a choice in the past of whether to take action and be a leader or to not take action, and it caused heartbreak, and they know that. And it had to do with a lack of confidence or self-sabotaging move that maybe they're looking at, or they feel like it's a little too late. This patience created this stalemate. And now maybe they're seeing things different and they're wanting to take action, or they feel like maybe going this direction, the choice they made created a separation, obviously for you too, but it also separated them from what was best to do for themselves. It separated them from self-love, and potentially that's why they didn't take action, that stalemate. That's something that they wanted to say to you or talk to you about. This could be somebody who's watching you. Now, what is this? Okay, oh, watching you. Look at that. See? Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so, but this is a 17 card, which is an 8, which is the infinity sign, right? Coming back to self. Having these lessons, looking at things differently, right? Oh, it's the bottom of the deck. So Knight of Cups, right? Taking action or not taking action. Somebody ended up just watching, and there was a stalemate that was created. But the stalemate happened. Remember me saying that there should not be the word regret in our vocabulary. This card, and this card are all connected. Okay, the energy of those three. And I'll tell you why. This stalemate might seem like it was a wrong choice. Yes, it created heartbreak, but this heartbreak led to somebody now reevaluating, maybe not at the time, but now reevaluating the crossroads, the decisions that they made in the past that created this separation. And they're going back to, well, why did that happen? What's this knowledge about? Why couldn't I have taken this path? Why couldn't I have gone this direction and created a stalemate? But this is saying that this was fate for this to happen so that there could be the direction of somebody to look within. And looking within creates the knowledge and the awareness with divine truths to build a foundation where maybe this won't happen again in the future. This self-sabotaging will become something that's brought to the surface and will, like these roses, bloom this new information to help maybe prevent this in the future. There's still hope, meaning there is enlightenment out of this. And this could be within self-love, not to sabotage. There's healing through the fate of what happened. The stalemate might look like it was not the right direction to go, that this was the problem, but the problem actually was in your fate line, was on your destined path. If it's not you, then it could be who is on your mind, or it could be both of you. This stalemate created you to look at yourself and have to withdraw your energy, which yesterday's message, again, all my messages are connected. Yesterday's message was about leaving and not remain waiting. If you were waiting, not allowing yourself to be in that position anymore. So by leaving, it created a greater self-love because you had to refocus on yourself, and it created patience. Maybe you haven't been somebody who has been patient in situations, and all of this fate line, this destiny happened, and everything happens for a reason. It created this enlightenment, this wake up, this epiphany, this spiritual awakening, but also a healing, right? Because the star is about healing. So secret admirer who's watching you, or let's see, tell me more about the secret admirer. Okay. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this was the card, the star, right? The card that I talked about came out, almost was because it was in the neutral position, and it was so I think that there wasn't healing in the past. And then as there's this move forward, and then this look back and reevaluation through the retrograde and the new in Cancer, the healing is happening, right? To the understanding to have this upright. And maybe there was a lot of hopelessness, could have created depression or a settling for just what was versus having control of yours or their own life. And through this evaluation, or maybe this communication, maybe this knowledge, this new intuition or epiphany, this awakening is creating a healing portal through this new moon in Cancer. And this is that change up, that time bending, the change up of the past, right? The Mandela effect. This is not the same situation that potentially you are going towards or in now after looking at the past and changing the outcome, or even just changing your mind about, or changing your perception about. That's why that was in the neutral position. And this is, so Knight of Cups is about following your heart. And that's something that maybe is the answer to, in the future, that will be a different choice versus what you did in the past. Because last time maybe somebody knew it was better for them to go a certain direction, but they didn't do it, and it ended up breaking maybe your heart, or they broke their own heart. But I asked about the secret admirer. So standing your ground, protection, determination. There's a stubbornness here. Oh, I got two. Oh, a hermit. Yeah. Again, this being destined on fate lines, right? Hermit is a lot about creating this dark night of the soul, which is that evaluation, gaining knowledge. So going within, being by themselves. Maybe they were isolated with the Seven of Wands, but seeing, and here's healing as well. So this isolation created boundaries. Maybe, so divine, I think, pushed your person into being alone for a little bit and made them curious about this situation, right? And why things happened the way they did, why they were wearing a mask, how this decision, the self-sabotaging, this temptation of whatever was gone, I guess, this temptation to do things the way that they used to do it, or to see things, to be attached to things in the past, created this feeling of where they're at, made them feel very alone. when that wasn't the plan in the first place, or that's not the expectation. That's not what they thought they were going towards. But also the divine wanted, and the subconscious right here talks a lot about isolation and being alone, because it's in the quiet, it's in the moment that there's not the distraction and the noise of other people, of other perceptions, of other opinions, and why divine talks about keeping things on the down low, or keeping things, whatever, around toxicity or toxic people to yourself, so that people can't sway you. This somebody was put in this isolated period where maybe they could get a message across, or this is something that's coming, but they could also have communication with divine, and because divine truth, with themselves, be able to hear themselves think, be able to understand or gain knowledge about why they went this direction, right? But now they're in a calmer sense, having some quiet, learning, maybe even through this read, learning that this wasn't that regret. There needs to be forgiveness. Forgiveness either by you about a situation, because now maybe you understand why it happened, and also, or your person might be internally through divine, even if they were to learn through you watching this read, their energy showing them that they need to forgive themselves, because this regret and guilt is nonsense. It's useless, because this stalemate that was created, actually all of this healing through understanding why this was on the path in the first place. This was going to happen no matter what. That's why there's still hope. They're walking the path. They're on the right path. They've been on the right path, or this is you, and it's part of the fate lines. Talk about there's still hope moving forward, or you might even be there now. There's still hope. Tell me more about that. Learning, Page of Swords, learning, knowledge, right? Accepting lessons. Page of Swords. Why is Page of Swords here? Delayed news. This stalemate happened for a delay to come about, to shove either you or your person into some type of isolation, to quiet the noise. This is peaceful. Give enlightenment, understanding, a knowledge of why this decision was made, being locked in a marriage or in a contract or agreeing to something. What the root was of why this was made. Why did this really happen? What didn't they want to see? Maybe I'm hearing like, so you see circles here, right? Circle, circle. Oh, the circle. Maybe that, okay, bring that into the, everything's connected. Bring my circle into, oh, that makes so much sense, you guys. The circle this morning came to me. It's part of channeling. The circle is pattern, doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe this is something that they've done over and over and over again, and they are getting the same results. But now they're getting messages about that. The reason the line is through it, right? We talk about alchemy, turning challenges, pain, pattern, obstacles. Alchemy is changing that into power. So they could be slicing that pattern in half, not wanting to continue that pattern, and it's stopping the cycle. Maybe it's a long-held ancestral cycle. Maybe it's this always been the way somebody went because that's what they felt like they were supposed to do. There's all these circles, right? Hitting the target. The target is cutting that pattern in half. Sorry about that. Slicing that cycle karmically, understanding and breaking those chains. And this morning I saw a picture that had of this person breaking chains, and so that goes right into it as well. It was all part of channeling, and I didn't understand it until right now. I didn't understand that circle that was supposed to be in this read. Again, everything's connected, and I'm going to keep saying it until you guys get it, or until you guys trust it. Everything is connected. Start looking at it, and it's going to bring you so much clarity in so many things in your life, just like it brought me clarity right now. This circle happened this morning to show the line through it is the breaking of the cycle. And that's what this stalemate created, was an evaluation, or is creating right now, because it takes somebody back to the past, new moon in Cancer, and creates the understanding and the knowledge for them to break the cycle, which eliminates, changes, right? The Mandela effect changes the outcome of the choice they made potentially moving forward, so that there's a fresh start, a new beginning. There's healing through this current section, and then there's moving forward on the correct path as well, still walking through this, right? As they gathered this information, there was this delayed news so that they could understand it this way, so that it could all fit together like missing puzzle pieces, and the puzzle could all come together. Okay, tell me about the page, when we're on the Page of Swords. Duality, two, again, about two, why they make the decisions that they make. Judgment, why they make the decisions they make. Look at that. I talked about final chance. There's a judgment call that's been made, potentially upon themselves, or divine has stepped in and said, you need to look at why this all happened. This could be for you. This could be for them. This could be just This spiritual awakening, here's 2, right? 20 is a 2 card. It's about which path they chose. Was that path the path that, was it because of patience they didn't want to choose a different path? They wanted something fast, impulsive? Or was this not the path that was of their highest good? Did it cause issues? Is this the path that they continue to take over and over and over again? There was a judgment call that's creating this hope because they're absolutely, why? Oh, and then this, okay, so my other card popped off. I don't know what that's about. Something about absolutely. Everything happens for a reason. Don't disregard it. I didn't mean to say absolutely. I meant to say that there is an actual understanding, is what I meant to say, actual understanding through this judgment, halting them in this hermit mode, right? Creating boundaries around themselves so they could get quiet and hear what the divine was saying to them, and also to understand that everything happens for a reason and why they chose the 2, why they chose the path. Are they going to continue to choose the same path moving forward? There's still hope that there can be a change and the time bending can happen. And this could be something that you as the viewer have gone through and already changed, right? You could be way ahead of the game. It depends on what timeline you're on. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, I guess this is going to be the last message. I don't know why I think that. Oh, actually, right before I do that, I want to look at the wounding, maybe root cause from my cards, because this always offers so much insight. The Sacred Woundings card. I love these cards. And we'll do one for your person and then for you. And then I don't know why that card came out, but it did. And it swung out, so it wants to be seen. I don't think you guys can see this, actually. No, you can. So, okay, hold on. So we'll just put these up here. So this is the Hand of Fate duality messages, right? These are all, I need to widen my view on my camera, but this is going to get messy. Sorry, but I want you guys to see this. So there's that fate. And then this card, can you see? Yeah, this card came out like that. So this is going to be our final message. But before that, I wanted to do the Sacred Woundings card. So this one was at the bottom. This is going to be the viewer. So I'm going to put this as you. And then we're going to pull one more card as your person and find out kind of what wounding or shadows are being worked through this process with this new moon in Cancer. Tell me about the person on my viewer's mind, or the person that they're thinking about, or that this read is about for them. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. So as far as your wounding that you might have already worked through as the viewer, oh gosh, this is so messy. You're wounding loneliness, alone, right? Alone, loneliness, these two go together. This will show up as like, well, it could be for your person as well, like feelings of isolation. And you know what? I am getting that it could be, maybe these are, I don't know. I'll see with this one. Maybe this is both of the wounding cards for your person. I don't know. But this could be for you as well. Through this stalemate, it created loneliness and isolation of both of you. This Hermit, right? This is also isolation. Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice. Hand of Fate and Fate. So these are connected. So this is all connected. And we already know that, right? But I like to show visuals of that. That's why I show the cards. But okay, so the loneliness is something that will show up as like deep feelings of isolation, let's see, disconnection or longing for meaningful relationships. And it may manifest as difficulty forming or maintaining connections. Attachment. Why did somebody self-sabotage? That is what somebody needs to look at or is looking at, is this needing to heal this loneliness wound. Finding peace within yourself. And you're never alone. You're always with your higher self. So talk to it out loud. And it doesn't matter if people think you're crazy. A fear of rejection or a sense of being unseen or unheard, often stemming from unmet emotional needs in the past. So it could be from childhood. It could be from some type of past relationships, something that was emotionally manipulative or emotionally draining. But this loneliness wound is something that is being looked at either by you or your person, or should be, to help understand and guide maybe why they're self-sabotage, why somebody gets in their head, why somebody chooses the choices that they choose, is because maybe they don't want to be, they're afraid to be alone. Maybe loneliness and this quietness that they were forced into or are being forced into creates this, like, when you're alone, yeah, stuff comes up. A lot of stuff comes up from the depths of, below, and it's stuff that needs to be looked at, but a lot of times it's pushed down and repressed. But that repression creates a lot of problems as you get older, creates obviously a lot of situations and relationships, as we see here, right? So this loneliness wound could be for just them or for both of you. And then the other card would be, gossip and slander. So this will show up as feelings of betrayal. So it could be both of you. I think that this works. These two wounding big players on what is happening in this read. It could be player energy. Gossip and slander will show up as feelings of betrayal, hurt, or insecurity, often accompanied by a loss of trust in others. It may manifest as a fear of being misunderstood or judged, leading to isolation or difficulty in forming genuine connections. Now, this choice could have created somebody feeling alone, self-sabotaging, put somebody in that alone, maybe, I guess, that feeling of alone, because maybe that's something that they've always known and they haven't known anything different than that. This gossip and slander could be something that the seduced, somebody could have given them wrong information, maybe about you, or wanted to create bad news, or they could have created fake profiles, or they could have created fake messages, sending them to your person, because here's messages, right? Hand of fate. They could have somebody on their side, or people on their side, or yeah, because there's a group of people, a friend group, or these are 3 girls. Oh, this is like mean type of situation. Maybe they created messages and sent them to your person and created your person thinking something that was not true. And or you or your person, I'm thinking more like this is who you're here for. Maybe they were worried about gossip and slander, or they were gossiped and slandered. And this is has a lot to do with maybe they self-sabotaged because they were worried about what they would look like. And this one, maybe they self-sabotaged because of the fear of rejection, making the rejection happen and getting out before they get rejected. Almost like, I'm going to reject you first before you can reject me, is what I'm getting from this one as well. So those could be woundings that are being addressed at this time or needs to be addressed. But I love these cards because it gives an idea of what maybe shadows are being worked on. So this is the last message. Remember, it came out. It wants to be seen. So let's find out why. Oh, look at that. Happy times, good luck, clarity, right? Clarity, there's still hope, clarity, sunny days. Yes, if you had a question coming into this read, the answer is yes, because there's the yes card. That's fun. Sunny days, sun, enlightenment, sun. There's enlightenment through this process. That is so awesome. Yeah, you guys, I hope that helps give some clarity. And yeah, thanks for helping me get some clarity myself on what happened this morning, and putting it all together. So thanks for putting the puzzle pieces together for me. You guys have a great night. We'll see you on the next read. Bye.